Hi guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my June reset. We are so back with the resets, you guys. I have missed this so much. I've missed you guys so much. I feel like there's nothing quite like sitting down at the end of the month, going over our goals, reflecting on the month, setting a budget, going over our previous budget. Like, I have just missed this so much. And hopefully you guys have too. I know you guys have too because I've had so many DMs being like, hey, no pressure, but the resets coming back. They are back. I spent a week in Bali for a wedding and then we did 3 weeks in the US and Canada, having the absolute time of our lives. Like, I cannot emphasize enough, and hopefully you guys felt it from the vlogs, but we had the absolute best time and it was just such a fun, healing, reflective, just like a good trip. And I say this time and time again, I love traveling. I've always loved traveling, always will. Former travel agent, getting to watch people experience all these new things and experiencing them myself is just so magical, and it's always something that I'll value, and I just feel so lucky that I have the freedom, the flexibility and the finances, the big 3 F's, if you will, to be able to do this at this point in my life. That is largely thanks to you guys. So I just want to say the biggest thank you. I hope you guys have enjoyed all of the travel content. In saying that, as much as I love traveling, there really is no place like home. And I'm so excited to be back here, back with my home comforts, back with my girls, my family, my friends, in my beautiful house. Like, no matter how long I'm away for, even if it's just a few days, I always come back feeling so grateful and just excited to get back to my life. We've been back for almost 2 weeks now, so very much over our jet lag, back into the swing of things. And with it being the end of the month, I feel like this is the perfect time to like really reset, set some good intentions, set some good goals, maybe set a couple of challenges perhaps, and just really like get back into it. I have been very hands-off with my budget. I don't want to say I completely jumped ship, but obviously we were away. We set a very specific, generous budget for our travels. Maybe I'll share that in this video. I knew as long as we kept to those constraints, like we would be fine. And so I haven't really been tracking as I normally would, and things like our mortgage, our bills are all automated. We have a good system going, so been very hands-off with the budget and I've missed it. I'm excited to delve into it. Also, don't mind my iced latte. It's diabolical, guys. It actually doesn't taste bad. It's masked by white chocolate syrup, but so many things went wrong in the coffee making process. Ran out of beans, water tank ran out halfway through, so it's a very stilted coffee making process. No flow to it, but tastes pretty good. And it's giving me a little booster that I need. Anyway, enough yapping, let's get into it. We're gonna start by setting some new goals. I don't have any goals to really reflect on. Maybe I set some for April, but Lord knows if I actually stuck to them. As always, I'm using the code PLENTY Goal and Habit Tracker. I'll have a link down below along with my discount code. They've also started selling the Goal and Habit Tracker and spreadsheet as a bundle, so you can save some money that way if you're interested. But I swear by this is the only thing that I've been able to actively track every single day. I always get questions about it whenever I screenshot it on my stories. This is the habit tracker that I use. It's the way I track my goals as well. I think because it looks so familiar, like it's the same aesthetic as the budget template I use, and I just keep everything at the top of my Google Chrome. So I literally have like my emails, Google Calendar, my budget, goal and habit tracker. So I'm reminded to do it every single day. I like to break my goals up into different categories. So we have personal, health and wellness, financial, career, and then home related goals, or like a home to-do list. Normally I would brainstorm before I film this video, but I thought it'd be fun if we did it together. One thing I know I want to do is to do the 75 soft challenge. 1st of June happens to fall on a Sunday. It just feels kind of right. Nick and I did it at the beginning of the year, from the 1st of January to, what would that have been, the 15th of March, something like that. And it was the best thing ever. I do have my own kind of variation of it. I'll pop it on the screen if you guys are interested. I'll be sharing my journey, I guess, on TikTok and Instagram if you want to follow me over there. And I do plan on documenting it a little bit more here on YouTube as well, because I got some requests for that. So I'll be sharing it throughout the vlogs. But yeah, I definitely want to do that 75 soft. And then with that, I've set up a couple of daily habits already. So 5 a.m. wake up Monday to Friday. This is part of my challenge. You can set your own rules, like whatever you feel like you need to work on. And mine is 5 a.m. wake ups Monday to Friday. Who cares about the weekend? Only because that's the best time for us to go to Pilates. We go to a gym that has digital, I sound so old. I guess they are digital. I just probably wouldn't describe them as that, but they're like online virtual classes. Virtual is the word I'm looking for. Nick and I love going together and doing the same class at the same time. However, the best time that works for him with his 9 to 5 schedule is 5 a.m. And also I realized I'm just not a night person. Like, I just can't hang. Like if there's a social event, sure, I'll be up. But otherwise I have no motivation or like desire to be up past like 9:30. It's just not for me. I'm so much more productive first thing in the morning, so I'd rather get up at 5 a.m, smash out my Pilates session, even if I'm not going to Pilates that day and I'm just having a rest day, just to have that bit of time in my morning to like work on me. No phone for the first hour of the day. These kind of go hand in hand. My phone addiction is back, and she is back with a vengeance. So I want to curb that again. 10,000 steps a day. I was thinking of maybe reducing this to 8,000. I think I might do 8,000, only because 10,000 is just like such an arbitrary number. I know for me and like my lifestyle, 8,000 is a good amount. It's not unrealistic, it feels achievable, and it's like a solid amount, you know, I'm getting in some kind of movement. 45 minutes of movement a day, whether that's a walk, Pilates, that's basically all I do, let's be honest. 2 liters of water, read 10 pages, really getting back into reading. That's another thing, kind of going hand in hand with my phone usage. I haven't been reading, so I want to get back to that. And then no alcohol, or I want to track when I have no alcohol for the day, which will be most days. Honestly, I only drink like socially. So with those things in mind, let's go back to our personal goals. So I want to read 2 books this month. I feel like that's an achievable amount if I'm winding down every evening, or if I'm spending like an hour before I get out of bed not touching my phone and reading instead. If I'm up at 5 a.m, babes, you've got time. What else? Let's look at our yearly goals. This is where I always get my inspiration. Coming back to my core long-term goals. Keep screen time under 3 hours a day. Not going great, but that's fine. We're working on it. Try a new bar or restaurant. Okay, that's a good goal to have. Try a new bar / restaurant. I feel like we haven't really been doing that. Well, we've been away. Every restaurant and bar has been new to us. 2 day nights. Wow, see, I'm getting so much inspiration from past Ella. This is why I love the spreadsheet, because I can so easily go back and see what my 2025 goals were. 2 date nights. And they don't have to be at night. It could be a date day too. Oh, we can take this one off. Plan a trip to Canada and the US. Give back more. We can donate. I'm going to put that under financial goals. Donate. I love doing little emojis. Just makes me feel something, you know? I guess while we're here, we can do our other financial goals. Invest. I want to do 1 no spend week at least. Get back on that and curb some of that habitual spending. I feel like I'm in a really spendy mood because I've just been tapping the card for the last month straight and not really thinking about it. Pilates 3 times a week. Kind of tying in with that 45 minutes of movement a day. I actually haven't been back to Pilates, which is so weird because I missed it so much when I was away, but now I have a bit of a block about it. I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be so hard. I know it's gonna be hard. I don't think it'll be as hard as I think it's gonna be, but I know I'm gonna be sore, which is why I'm putting it off. But the more I put it off, the more sore I'm gonna be long term. It's just gonna be that first session back. It's gonna hurt. Pilates 3 times a week, I feel like is a good way to ease back into it. Career goals. Ooh, what can we do for this? Oh, I want to do a giveaway. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I just hit 100k. Which is crazy. 100,000 followers like does not feel real. Seeing 100, I think we're up to 101 now, which is crazy. But seeing that next to my name is just so surreal. Like, sorry? Look at that. That is crazy. Upload or post on TikTok 5 times a week. I'm also gonna say upload 7 times on YouTube, which is not a lot for some people, but I've been uploading 4 times for the last 2 months, so we're gonna go for that. I've really been enjoying YouTube at the moment, in case you couldn't tell. And then home goals, get a quote for wardrobe, fit out. You guys know the deal with that. We moved into our house. It's actually been 2 years. 2 years we moved into this house, which is crazy. This is a new build, and so there's just a couple things we want to change or like add to. One of those things being our wardrobes. There's just no shelving or drawer space. I also want to get a quote for a fence. I don't really feel like I need to elaborate on that. Get a quote for fence. Cool. Okay. I'm happy with that. That is the goal setting done. Now let's get into the fun stuff, the budget. As I mentioned earlier, I have been a little hands off with the budget, so I didn't really set a typical one. I kind of got home halfway through May and set some numbers, but they're kind of like arbitrary, just like nothing numbers, just to give myself something. Truthfully, I just didn't like seeing anything in the red, which if I didn't fill out these numbers in my expenses, then everything would have been. But let's go over our income. So income wise, it was a good month. Nick's paychecks were a few $100s more than normal because he gets paid leave loading. I don't think this is an everywhere thing. I think maybe this is only in Australia, but you get paid leave loading on top of your normal regular paychecks when you take annual leave. And I don't think every job does it. We don't question it. Let's actually look. Why do we get paid leave loading? I feel like I've had this exact conversation on camera before. Is to compensate employees for lost earnings and potential extra costs incurred while on annual leave. Interesting. So like you're spending more money because you're on leave, so you get extra. Cool. It makes sense if you work overtime or receive shift allowances, but I've definitely gotten at jobs before where I didn't get paid overtime, where I didn't work overtime, and Nick doesn't work shifts. He just works like a normal 9-to-5 job. So anyway, he gets paid leave loading, so that's why his paychecks were higher. And then for social media, I got paid $6,773 after taxes. I went into a lot more detail in my payday routine video here on YouTube about how I track and like manage my business income. So I'll have that video linked down below in case you're interested. But on my personal spreadsheet, I like to track my post-tax income. But then if you go over here, I put $1,000 back into the business for my super. Again, go watch my payday routine video if you really want to see the intricacies of it. But it's just helpful for me to see what my post-tax income is as someone that's self-employed. So technically $5,773 is what we really truly made. Bills wise, nothing really out of the ordinary. Our home insurance has gone up to $161. It used to be $105.89. It's now $161. Nice round number. It was up for renewal and our renewal price originally was $250, which is insane. That's an increase of what? 250%? I don't know, maths is not my strong suit. I love talking about money and budgeting, but maths is not my strong suit. Anyway, it went up by a considerable amount, almost doubled, and I was like, I am not having this. I also used to work in insurance, so I kind of know the ins and outs of how they calculate it. I think it boils down to the fact that this is a new build, and previously it was one giant block that's now been subdivided. I just don't think they have the right information to calculate the premium on this house, because I looked across the road and I typed in the old address even. I did a quote for across the road, next door, and they all came back like a reasonable price. And ours was for some reason $250, I think, because it's a new address. So I ended up shopping around and I found a quote for $161, which is still a $55 increase, but better than $150 every month. And then subscriptions all the same. Then for our expenses, we spent $209.36 on groceries. Bearing in mind this was only half the month. Petrol, we spent $69.97, $149.99 on health. That was for a subscription. $137.50 on the cleaners. They only came once this month. $175.35 on gifts. That was for Mother's Day. And then a little like thank you for my parents looking after the dogs. I made a donation this month. $164.50 on eating out. That was a little bit over, but not by much. Social, $266.53. Most of that is for $1 that Nick had to pay for. $65 on coffee, which is not too bad. We've really missed Aussie coffee. So I'm like, every morning I'm like, oh, I could make coffee myself and it tastes good. But like, how nice is it to go to a proper coffee shop and get a proper latte? Stunning. Hobbies, $8. Big spenders. Nothing on transport. Shopping, $400. That was for half of my Aura ring. The other half I took from my business savings because it was like a gift to myself for hitting 100k. Definitely an investment. They are not cheap, but I've been thinking about this purchase for a really long time, like months. I'm watching so many comparison videos and just felt like the right time. Nice little milestone to celebrate. And it's only been a few days, but I'm already obsessed. Like this thing is so cool. Like tell me what I did at night. I love it. I find it so fascinating. Nick even came to bed last night. I'd already fallen asleep and he like kind of woke me up. I have no recollection of this, but apparently I like half woke up and I was like, you're affecting my sleep score. He was like, whoa. Nothing on entertainment or books this month. We spent $69.22 on a date night. Nothing on alcohol. Then we have the big boy. Most of this I pull from my sinking fund, but we spent $3,882.24 on travel this month. Keeping in mind all of our accommodation, flights, a lot of our tours and activities, transport was already pre-booked. And a few months ago I'd already loaded our cards with the currency plus this. And that was from our sinking fund, most of it. And then miscellaneous, we spent $90.28. Majority of that being, and I hate to say this because this is not what I stand for. This is everything I stand against. We forgot to pay our credit card. I know. By like a couple of days, but it adds up. That just goes to show that was just interest, $90.28. Yeah, will not be making that mistake again. And this is a classic example of why credit cards aren't for everybody. It hurts. $90.28 is like a lot of money. So lesson learned, I will not be making that mistake again. Savings wise, we pulled a lot of money from our sinking funds, which is exactly what they're there for. So travel fund, we took $3,572 out. That was just what was sitting in there. Home fund, I put $500 into, $165 into car expenses. Nothing into our emergency fund because that's fully funded. We invested $390.43, put $1,000 back into my business account, $400 into our gift fund, nothing in the offset. And then I took money from the rainy day fund for my Aura ring, which is exactly what that fund is for. So the numbers don't look great on here, but a lot of it was us just taking from our savings, which is fine. And then as for our mortgage, we have our normal mortgage repayments here. This month we still kept to our goal and we put $4,200 on our house as like an extra payment, which is super exciting. That gets us one step closer to hitting our goal, which is to pay off an extra $50,000 of our mortgage by the end of the year. So we're doing really well with this. I'm really proud of us. I wasn't sure if we'd be able to this month, but I think because we'd already pre-booked, prepaid for a lot of things, and I was lucky enough to still be generating income while I was away. Nick was being paid his leave, so we were still making what we would normally make, and we could just put that on the mortgage. Having a look at the breakdown, 52.9% of our money went towards debt this month, which is exciting. 39.1% on expenses. Most of that's on travel. Actually, let's have a look. If we delete this, what would that look like? Okay, our expenses would be $2,108.41. That would make our debt payment 70.9%, expenses 18.4%, which is a lot more in line with our regular budget. 0.4% on subscriptions and 10.2% on bills, but that was not the reality. Breaking it down a little bit further, 23.5% was our extra payment on the mortgage, 21.9% was on travel, which is no surprise. 11.7% on the other half of the mortgage, 10.3% on the other half, 2.8% in our home fund, shopping, gift fund, social. I'm pretty happy with that, honestly. It's kind of all over the place. Like there was no real budget. Like we kept to budget technically. We were $590.85 under, but like it wasn't a true budget, you know? I kind of just like picked figures from previous months and just halved them. So I guess we did stick to budget, but it was a bit of a weird month. Anyway, that was May. Before we go ahead and set our budget for June, I wanted to quickly go over our travel budget as promised. Oh, you're so scary. Is there someone outside your house? How dare they? Our travel budget was $22,000, which might seem like a really random number, but I based this off what we did last year. We went to a few of the same places. New York and Boston were actually the only two that were the same. We did Canada this time. We didn't do Canada last time, and we went for a little bit longer this time. So $22,000 just felt like a good amount. I'll quickly run through these numbers. I'm going to do a full cost breakdown on my TikTok and Instagram if you guys want to see the details. But in total, we spent 22.7% of our budget on flights, 32.2% on accommodation, 6.2% on transport, 10.1% on activities, 19.8% on food and drink. I'm so sorry, my dog is licking her foof. Don't mind. Girls gotta do what a girl's gotta do. Which is probably a little bit higher than last time. We stayed with our friends for the first 4 nights, I think, 4 or 5 nights in Canada. They were putting us up for free, so of course we covered a couple of meals. And then 9% on other expenses, which is like travel insurance, visas, and shopping was the other thing that falls into that category. So our budget was $22,000, and in total we spent $20,497.44, which is crazy because this is almost identical to what we spent last year. Let me pull up that one. Yeah, last year we spent $20,406.69, and this time we spent $20,497.44. Like almost exact amounts, which is good. We stuck to budget. We were actually under budget by $1,500, and it was a longer trip, so I'm pretty happy with that. We also had the best time. We went to Victoria, BC. We stayed with our friends there, and then we did Seattle, Portland, New York, New Haven, Providence, Newport, and then Boston. So a lot of places to squeeze into 3 weeks, but I'm so happy with how everything turned out. And yeah, like I said, had the best time. So that's our travel budget. Going back to our personal budget, I'm going to close these. So a fresh start. Oh, I've missed this so much. Income, exciting developments. Nick did just get a pay rise, which I'm so proud of him for. He's worked so hard. His career progression, especially in the last 12, 18 months, the things that he's been doing at work, I am just like so proud of him. And so yeah, this has been a long time coming. It will be backdated, and I'm not sure when it's exactly going to kick in. I think sometime in June. I'm not sure if there's going to be any residual leave loading from some other leave. So I'm going to say $3,000 for expected income for both paychecks, and then we can adjust when we know what the actual figure is. This month from social media, I'm expecting about $4,500. The thing about social media is most of the payments you receive are from the previous month. So because I was away, and even maybe into next month, I'll still be like a little bit behind because I haven't been working at full capacity, which is fine. Part of being self-employed. I'm going to copy and paste the bills over from last month. Gorge. Same with subscriptions. Really don't have to overcomplicate it. This spreadsheet as well, I use the 2.0 one, which I think they label as advanced. I guess it's maybe a little bit more advanced than some other spreadsheets, but it's still so easy to use. If you get overwhelmed by Excel spreadsheets, I'm the same. Excel is not my best friend. I just want a nice, pretty looking spreadsheet where I can just input my numbers and for it to all magically work for me. And that's exactly what this does. It just adds everything up for you. It's stunning. Then we have our mortgage. Again, I'm just going to copy and paste over. I'm going to leave this at 0 for now just to see how much we can contribute this month because it's a slightly slower month. We also do have 3,613.54 left over from May. Normally I wouldn't have such a big buffer. I like to work off a zero-based budget, but given we've just come back from holidays, my income's going to be a little bit less. I think it's nice to have that a little bit extra. Total income's 10,500. We've got 1,170.94 for bills, 44.97 on subscriptions. Our mortgage payment is $3,911.66. You guys know we're really in our paying ourselves first era. It's been a big focus for us in 2025 is to make sure that we're saving and investing before anything else. So travel fund, part of me is like, oh, I don't need to put any money away for travel, but also the other part of me is like, no, like, let's be so for real. In a couple months time, you'll be getting itchy feet ready to travel again. So I'm gonna be realistic with myself and set aside 150 into the travel fund. That way when we do feel the urge to start booking or planning a trip, the money is there ready to go. Home fund, I'm gonna budget, we're gonna go 500 again, only because I really want to get these home projects going. Car expenses 165. We actually need to book in for a car service. Emergency fund nothing. ETFs 500. I'll leave business at 0. Gifts 400. That's kind of our go-to amount to make sure that we're covering for birthdays and that we have a good amount for Christmas. Offset nothing, and then rainy day fund will go 100. That's $1,815. I want to put extra on the mortgage, so I'm going to say 2,000 for now. And then we can always adjust. Our ideal goal, like in an ideal world, it's okay. I know, big scary dog walking past your house. You are so scary, Mabel. Cool, groceries, I'm gonna say 500, 550, so 500. I still have a couple of free Dinnerly boxes, so I feel like we should definitely be able to stick to that. Petrol, 150. Pets, I'm gonna budget 200 for. I think we need to get new dog food. Health, I'm gonna budget 100. 275 for the cleaners. Oh, that's home. We'll go nothing for home because I don't think we need anything. Treating others, 200. 200 for eating out. That's $100 each. I feel like, surely. I feel like the 75 self challenge is such a nice distraction from spending money. You're just so focused on this challenge and like hitting all your goals every single day and hitting your habits that you just like don't think about anything else in a good way. Cool. Hi. Thank you. Social, I feel like we have a couple things on the agenda, so we'll go 150. 75 for coffee. Hobbies will go 50. Transport 50. Shopping, I don't think we need anything. We'll go 0. Entertainment 50. Books 30 perhaps. Date night, I'll budget 75. 50 for alcohol. Travel, nothing. And then miscellaneous, I always like to budget about 50. Car parking, any other random expenses. No credit card fees, definitely not. We have learned our lesson. Cool, so that is $2,205. We still have this money left over, so I might boost this up to 4,200. Cool, well my camera's about to die, so I'm gonna end this off here, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for joining me. If you did enjoy this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel out. Subscribe as well if you're not already, and follow me over on my Instagram and TikTok. I hope you all have a wonderful month, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye guys!